feel like I look like crap today, but I actually bought some new foundation I was gonna wear on my date on Saturday, but now my date is canceled. I get a lot of people that are like almost like catfish. They like talk me up for like an entire week or whatever, but then when it comes time to actually going on the date, they either like totally flake out or they like literally just unmatch me. So like the unmatching thing happened, but it's actually for a good cause, I suppose. Because I went to one of my doctor's appointments for something else and they recommended that I go get a colonoscopy. So I just really wrote down the plan, the plan for the prep in my complaint journal. I like to do that. I don't know why. I like to like know what I'm getting into, like mentally, and like be prepared. So I'm sort of kind of glad that that whole Saturday plan went to hell with the date, because I have bigger fish to fry. I guess that's like part of my thing right now. If I sound low energy, it's because I am, but I still wanted to be like, hey, this is my Friday video of my small amounts of energy. I don't think this will be like a really big video. Sometimes I know I have a lot of talking in me, and I will actually bring out this little, it's like a fake battery. I like plug it into the wall and like I can like put it into my camera, and it allows me to record videos as long as I want. Instead of this, I have a very old camera, and I've recharged this rechargeable battery so many times, so when I know I only have a little bit to say, I'll put in the battery, the real battery that doesn't really work that well. Anyways, I feel like the real battery that doesn't really work that well. Ugh. So I have my colonoscopy on Monday. I left my skin also not covered up. Like, I know it looks like holy hell today, but I actually did want to talk about the progress of the tretinoin. I know that's super boring, but like if you're at all curious like how that was going, it was something that I was working on, that I was kind of talking to you guys about. Like behind the scenes, I do things that are other than like just dating. But dating is one of those fun topics. Like I feel like it's easy to listen to and it's mostly relatable. And yeah, it can be like depressing, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of fun, more fun to talk about that than when your skin barrier gets all weird. So anyways, for the last month or so, my skin has really been horrible, and so that spills into my dating life too. Like I would have such great confidence if I just went in with like clear skin, a vagina that worked, things that I didn't have to hide from people, hemorrhoids, you know, like all these things that I've been, you know, trying to work on. But like my clear skin has been eluding me because I had really stubborn chin acne. I've been working on that for a while, and going up in tretinoin has been kind of really irritating for my skin. So I just really bought some new moisturizer, more to do with my skin barrier and like protecting it and restoring it. And then I'm gonna try going slow again. I'd worked my way up to using it every single night, and that's when like my skin like went crazy. I had like all these pimples. My skin was more dry. It wasn't repairing itself. Like it didn't have enough moisture or whatever to repair itself, so it was getting really angry. And I was just trying to push forward like I always do. I'm like, well, other things in my life are not going that well. Like, this is something that I can get a win on, you know? Like, that my body has like other ideas for like what my actual goals are, which I feel is like my entire life right now. But I feel like it's kind of like, once I understand that that's what's happening, I can kind of like, I guess, slow down in all the other areas. Like, I was still trying to date, even though like I feel pretty bad. When I felt pretty bad last time, I took a break from YouTube, I took a break from everything. I didn't date anymore, I just kind of did nothing. And then when I felt better, I came back, but I'd started dating again after I came back. I don't know, I just didn't think that this downtime was going to be as bad this time. So I just kind of continued at like full speed ahead, I suppose. So hence why I still had like a pool date on Saturday that ended up getting catfish canceled. I'm getting very sick of people, by the way. I think my curious is no longer curious and I'm maxed out. So I'm ready to think about what to do with myself once I leave here, because now it's a couple of months away instead of kind of far away. It's a couple of months away. So much like I just planned out my colonoscopy prep, I spent last night planning out my leaving prep. It's kind of like a complicated thing. So many loose ends to tie up. Now that I have more established things, kind of like transferring a car, transferring a business, what my new state allows, what my old state allows as far as the options to transfer. It makes me like conscious of, you know, what places are more business friendly than others. And, you know, it's like, not super complex, but it's just like more things to understand what to do. And so that's why I take like 2 or 3 months ahead of time to get like a full schedule of do this, then do this, then do this, then. I always do that. I try to have like a lot of spontaneous in my life so that I can enjoy my life, but I also try to reduce my anxiety about like getting everything done correctly and having it go smooth by just having a plan. I think that's a good balance. Sometimes I get it wrong, but lately it's like preparing myself mentally for like, I only have a short window of time to just fuck off and do nothing right now. And that seems kind of weird to say, because like I had so many goals when I moved here, but I'm in this weird limbo phase where I'm very sick and I can't really do too much about my goals. Most of my goals were financial. Most of my goals were like how to improve my long-term life. So it's been a lot of like thinking about what do I do with my time if I'm not doing that, because that kind of stuff takes up a ton of time. If you're trying to do it correctly, you should spend a lot of your day spending time improving your future so that you can actually enjoy that part of your future. You know, spend some time enjoying your current self. Spend some time a little bit reflecting on what went wrong or you didn't like about your past self. But I do tend to prioritize the working parts of my day that are good, because I do get a lot of ideas and creativity, and there's only so many paths you can follow during the day. So anyways, it used to be that I would arrange my day when things were going differently with my body and things were going differently with what I was doing with myself here. And now I just kind of think about preparing my brain for the massive transition of going back to living in a small town, going back to living not alone, going back to living in catch-up mode instead of push-forward mode. It's something that I need right now, unfortunately. My sick has been pretty detrimental as far as pushing forward on my goals. I think that's kind of like why I went so hard on like my dating, because it was like pretty sure I'm not gonna, you know, like my options back home, but also I wanted to learn certain things with the amount of time that I gave it. And I know that when I go back home, it's going to be like more like a serious mode. So I spend some of my time preparing now to transition from having fun with people to how do I arrange my brain to accept my new normal before my new normal happens. That's what I do. I like to do that, or else like I feel like I'd be kind of like in culture shock, or like I wouldn't really fully accept like what's going on. Even though I don't love it, it makes sense to do what I need to do in a couple of months versus stay here and like die on the vine in like all ways. You can always tell when my body's not doing so well. I get this weird glassy look in my eyeballs, and I noticed it when I would like edit back these videos, and I notice it just by like feeling it, but it's different when you like take, I don't know, I always take pictures for like the thumbnail or whatever this video is going to be, and sometimes I'm just like, ugh, you look terrible. Like not like look terrible like sick wise, instead of just like look terrible because like I think that I look terrible, right? I'm like not self-conscious, but I'm just like, oh. I'm like reminded. So anyways, I think I just wanted to have some like, since I have a couple of months still, in my brain I gave myself a time limit of enjoy. Read some books on your porch, enjoy your porch, enjoy the company of yourself, enjoy the quiet that you have right now, enjoy the life that you built that is falling apart, but enjoy the life that you built until it has to change. And then at a certain time, take that life all apart and then move that life to somewhere else. So it's kind of sad, yeah, but it's also like, if I don't remind myself to enjoy it right now, then I won't. So I go outside at nighttime and I watch little Netflix things, or, you know, I use like my little porch that I set up, my little oasis out there. I enjoy talking to people that are interesting. Lately, like I said, I'm beginning to be kind of saturated with that. So I think it's time to transition to less of that and more of just quiet. I have about 8 or 10 books that I want to read. I want to repair my skin barrier, but all these things that I tried to work on, like I am kind of proud of myself for like how much I did during this time. I feel like I grew mentally quite a lot, especially from like the times that I would go on dates and I wouldn't understand why people didn't like me. And it's like, I just didn't know at the time. I didn't have enough dates under my belt to like understand what people were like right now. Like what the culture was like the dating etiquette, what people do if they don't like you and they don't want to date you again, but they don't tell you. Like it's just kind of like normal and you don't really have to internalize it. And like, I only learned that kind of sort of by keeping on going on dates. It's just sort of like what happens, how to be more authentic with myself, how to adjust to disappointment. I feel like I did a lot of stuff. How to just be, how to be a human that does things. I went to so many doctor's appointments while I was here. It was kind of a hindrance, honestly. But it's so funny. I think I'm finally sort of kind of getting somewhere, like right when I have to leave, which is, I guess, ironic. But I guess the process doesn't stop just because I'm leaving. I'll just get some new ones and pick up there. But like, I have real empathy for people who it takes like years to figure stuff out when things are kind of like not straightforward. It's very tiring, the persistence that you have to have. So, anyways, I tried to juggle, because I feel like there's a part of my life that only has a certain amount before I tap out. I can only be creative if I have plenty of extra energy in my brain power to like do that, right? And sometimes I just, my body doesn't allow me to have extra energy. I feel like you need to really think creatively, and you need to really be up on your game if you're going to like mentally push forward with a business. So maybe my lifestyle wasn't the best to have during this time, but it was really nice that it was flexible during this time. So I don't know, I don't really have any regrets except for like, I wish I'd gotten further. I have to go to the colonoscopy on my own. Because of that, I don't get sedation, which I didn't want anyway, but I know it's going to be like more nerve-wracking because I'm going to be awake. So that's like another thing that's like kind of good about being back home. It's like I'll finally have help for things that are difficult. Like I've done a lot of this stuff on my own, and it's totally possible to do on your own. It's just like more mentally draining, which is I guess why I am like raising the flag in defeat, and I'm just being like, I don't really need to like walk uphill both ways anymore. Sorry, my foot is falling asleep. I'm excited to have support with things that would be nice to have support for, but I'm not really excited for having to prioritize differently. But I think that's just facts of life. I think it's okay to not have it how I want right now so that I can have it how I want eventually. As long as I sprinkle in a little bit of how I want it while I'm sacrificing back home, I think I'll be okay. But I want to get back to the point where like I want to really try as hard. I think that's what I was trying to say when I was like talking about my master key making and like everything. It's like I'm trying really hard, and like my try hard is like sometimes too hard, and I think that's just because I'm like that. But it's also like I reach like a breaking point of my things where it's like, well, if I just kind of like gave half-ass for like a little while, I wouldn't burn out so much. But sometimes like my things are all or nothing, and I don't know to like not push, I guess. What I mean by that is like maybe I didn't have to change up to 0.1 tretinoin and ruin my skin barrier. My skin barrier was doing just fine, but I was kind of sick of the occasional pimples and it wasn't really clearing out. But my skin doesn't really clear out until I like actually use it daily, and using it daily with not the correct moisturizer protection or whatever gave me worse results than when I changed up. Like this is worse, this is way worse than my whole face is like, I hurts kind of a little bit, but this is worse than just using the strength below it and like getting the occasional pimple. Like I always want grass that's greener, like I just always do, especially with the things that I care about. And I think that that's okay, but it's like, does it have to be on this like timeline? I think it doesn't have to be on this timeline, but I was just trying to make the most of my time. I guess that's the good thing about like, you know, picking up your life and like leaving 1 to 2 years after like wherever you go. Like your life kind of has built-in transitional moments just because. But then again, it's like kind of like a chaotic way to live. I don't mind it, but when everything is not firing at like correct, it's a little bit a lot. I actually didn't really anticipate getting very sick. So I anticipated like totally crushing it. And now like I told my dad yesterday, I was like, when I'm back home, I want to work on like a long-term solution for myself like after you're gone. Like a long-term like financial solution. Like I want to be independent. But it's just a little bit difficult. Because I can only see like a couple of options. In order to like do that for myself, like where I am with my career, and like where I am with like things. And it just seems to like all point to like I have to make a company. I just don't know. Because like I feel like that's one of your best ways that you can actually get financial, like a lot of financial success. It would be weird right now to start like an entire career. I haven't been in the workforce for a long time. So I think I'm mentally ready, but it's like if my body will hold up, I think I can do it. So I'm gonna really work hard on that when I'm home. Use the time that I have with my family. Use the time to continue to get better, but also like hope that things go okay enough so that I do have a future, right? Like I always plan for your future and for it to be fucking great, but like live like parts of your life are going to be only happening right now. I think that's the funny thing about like growing up, or like whatever you want to call it, like working on yourself. You're only going to be peak for like a little while. Like there's a point of diminishing returns on some of the things that you can work on. And like the financial thing is only going to get more compounded like as you get older. But like if I work on my beauty, like just factually, like as I age, which is fine, it like there reaches a point where like it's not peak and it's just waning. And so there'll be a point in time, like this is kind of depressing, but this is how I kind of like think about my priorities and how I arrange my life. So I guess that's why I'm sharing. But like that's why dating for me, I know that you can find the love of your life or whatever you want to do with yourself at any point in time, but like dating gets much more difficult if the pool of people that are good are just older. It gets more complicated. The way that you're able to attract a good mate for yourself or whatever with like your physical appearance and like your mental clarity or whatever, like you're not like thrown out in the pasture and like over the hill, but like I think there is a point of like you could be using your peak time well versus not well. And I want to have like a lot of time with like the person that or people that I choose to be with. So my beauty will only last for so long. My intelligence, I think, will get more in depth. So that's something. But I don't know. Is there shelf life for other things? You know, like all the things that consume my life. When is the best time to do them? And I'm thinking like when you're like real old, like not like, you know, like 50s. Thinking like in your 70s, you don't want to be starting your glow up, like looking for a mate, right? So like when I'm in my peak sexual awareness and like my body hasn't gone into menopause and I still enjoy what I enjoy, like I don't want to be like working out the kinks of like what I like sexually or not, like once it gets just more difficult to like kind of pursue. Like I kind of want to have experience doing that. I also kind of want to have experience building a business and creating an idea, because I feel like that takes like 10 to 12 years, maybe even more. And I've seen it where like some people have actually talked about like there's only, if you want to do it for real, if you want to do it like where like you're actually crushing it, not just like maintaining like a little bit of, you know, income, I think there's only like 3 periods, there's only room for like 3 major business ideas that you can bring from infancy to like where you sell it off and like you, I forget what it's called, when you make all your money when you go and sell it to somebody else. Take your idea from zero, and then you build it up, then you get paid out, you sell it off, that kind of thing. So you can only kind of do that cycle 3 times if you start early. So like that's what I think about. I know that the possibilities are like there's outliers with that, but there's like time periods where like it's just better. And I just have to work with like the time period of my wants and like the time that like my limitations, like my body is just not cooperating right now during this last year or so. It's been really difficult to use this time for anything that I felt was a push forward, prepare my life in 10-20 years to be better. Currently right now I have to do the exact same thing that I did when I first started, which is just basically live off sales. I have nothing that's like built as far as how to figure out how to not work as hard. So I don't have a companion that's long-term, you know. I have lots of friends that are very close to me. I have lots of ideas in my head that are just like amazing. I enjoyed intellectually like what happened the last couple of years. I enjoyed the progress that I made like on my internal things, like my internal traumas. I learned how to like expand a lot. So like I didn't just like do nothing, even though like I didn't do what I wanted to do, but I guess like the problem is when you're like really ambitious, it's like, ugh, I don't know what to do with my time if like things are not working out. And it's like, what do you do then? What do you do then when your safety nets aren't built yet? What do you do then? So anyways, I didn't mean for this to be like so sad or whatever. I'm not incredibly sad, I'm just kind of tired. I'm just tired in all the ways that you can be tired. So I feel like I'm trying to say to you that this kind of format, I never really know what the format of my videos are going to be like. Sometimes I really know, and sometimes I'm just like, this is what I find that's important. But I'm trying to prepare you for like, it might be more boring. You know, I might have different priorities when I move. And it might be, I don't even know like where I'm gonna film or like what I'm gonna do. I do want to keep filming, I like it. I think it's fun. Sometimes the idea of it is terrifying, and sometimes the idea of it is like, oh, I really don't want to do this anymore. But I think overall it's good, and so I'm going to continue to do it, I think, until I don't want to, obviously. But transitions are interesting. Transitions in your life. Honestly, I don't really know how to feel about it. But it's okay, I don't really need to. There's an unrest that's here, and I'm looking for rest and peace. There's an underlying unrest. I guess it's because I'm in a place where like I tried to do something and like I kind of failed by my own standards of what I was seeking out to do here. So it's like every single day I wake up here, it's like I remind myself that I didn't do that. And at least back home, it's like I give myself mental permission to rest. So maybe like part of that would be just like accepting the rest phase. I don't know. I feel like the rest phase will be good for thinking clear for my future though. Like if I just kind of like stayed in the unrest phase or whatever, in this constantly like activated, I think that I would have like more subpar ideas than good ideas. And like if I only have, in my period of my life right now where I'm 40, and you can only have like 2 or 3 big like periods of your life to like develop a business idea, and kind of like on the end of that spectrum, I want to have the best business ideas to make it more possible that this works out. So it just makes sense to like put myself in like the best mental space, where I have the least amount of stress, where I have the most amount of support, where I have the most amount of like what I need in order to focus on that part of my goal. So that's how I'm trying to arrange my future. Because I just want it to work out, right? And I think you have to do a lot of things in order to make that possible. Again, I don't know if that's like actually going to happen, but like I think the journey will be fulfilling if I work on that in the most in a way that like is more likely to have it happen. Like I don't want to like work on it like haphazardly and like I'll call it good for the day. Like I want it to feel good as I work on it. And I also want to like reduce the problems that have been kind of like keeping me from working on it. So anyways, I just think doing that will make it easier for myself to set myself up for the future, because it's going to be like a terrible life, honestly, if I just have to make daily sales all the time. It's just like really stressful. Like I've already talked about like that so many times, but I just got a little bit trapped in that because of like what was happening to me. So I focused on, you know, other areas of my life where I wasn't trapped, where it's just like work on your outside appearance, work on going on dates, work on building your mental tools, work on all the things that you can. So anyways, I did have to say that I'm almost done my aligners. This is my second to last aligner, and then I go get bonding on my 2 front teeth, and then I'll be in my retainers, which I have to wear just like this, so it's not like I'll be free of like things in my mouth forever, but like that part of like the restriction will have like, it's kind of like end date. I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. I'm actually really excited for like my skin to like be kind of okay. Super excited to not have to worry about like, do I have a date? Don't pick your pimple, because that might not be, you know, fixed up by the time you see them, and they might just stare at it, right? Like, I just want those things to like go away. I want those things to become non-issues. I want them to just like go away and not have to like worry about it. I don't really worry about it, because I kind of like force myself to go on dates when my pimples were really bad. And like, if I can go on dates when my pimples were really bad and have confidence, then like I can deal with like one, but I'd rather just have it like be how I want, right? So like that's like the part of me that's like, grass is always greener. So like, if you want greener grass, you gotta learn how to get that green grass. So there is something to be said, of course, of like wanting what you have currently, enjoying what you have currently. I just personally don't enjoy red face and pimples all over my chin. I just don't enjoy it, so I want better for myself. I wanted better for myself for my teeth. And here we are, a little bit over a year, and we're almost done that. So I feel like that's good. That's good. I worked on a lot of other stuff, but like, it's not as like easy for a person to see. So I guess that's why like I brought it up. It was all like working on like the outside things to match like the inside stuff. So I feel like I said before, I don't know if this really makes sense, but there will be that downturn where like society doesn't like value my beauty as much as they put value on it, or like it's not going to be as like eye-catching or whatever. Not saying it is now, but you know what I mean. I feel like there's a point in time where like they'll value different things from like an aging woman or whatever, and I will just be ready, because my brain internally will just know that that's the point in time where that happens. But joke is on them, because I'm actually kind of like, you know, really fun and cool in my brain. And I'll still have value, I'll still have worth, I'll still have curious. I can still do all these things. Anyways, this week was just about realizing where I am with stuff, and to enjoy my now, prepare for my later, so that I can enjoy my now. Think about how far I've come in different areas. Think about the things that I still need to work on. I'm in a funny spot, because I'm so sick of my life here. I'm so sick of it. But I'm also kind of like not that excited for my life to come. It's not how I want it to be. But I guess I'm gonna work on how I want it to be. So I guess wish me luck on Monday. And I will see you guys maybe on Friday. But if not, it's because things were a lot. And I needed some time to just kind of not do this. But know that I'm storing some cool things up in my brain to tell you for the next time that I come back. I can just tell that like I might be a little bit tired. I might be a little bit worn out, and I might be a little bit not it. But if I am it, I'll see you next week.